Grand Rising, everyone. It is Shay Seeking, and I'm back. So I heard people speaking on the fact of people, preferably possibly me, on the media, right? See, I don't have the reason why because again, I'm not really acknowledging this type of energy here on the plane, right? When I'm speaking of the energy that we're dealing with, that we're channeling, that we're dealing with, is that it is that I am energy. The I am that is supposed to be above all of these things in this caste or class system that we're under this infrastructure. Okay? When I believe that we're in this biblical text, and it says that come out of her, my people, so you don't be partakers of her sin. That eye that you see on the top of there, that corona or that eye, right? That pineal or that third eye or that, everybody's going to have a different way of explaining it because we've been educated improperly. Or we've been educated. And educated just means trained to see something with a certain eye. So what they're doing, as if you would say a devil energy that wants to protect the way that they've been operating in those other portions of the caste system, the merchants, the commoners and peasants. What they're doing is using the church, all of these things. What they're doing is using what they have to turn this eye, to turn their eyes, right? Evil towards God, which would be that eye. This is just, again, just like everything else is a theoretic approach. Most of the information that you take as truth is theoretic. It's science, right? Well, let's take a look at what science means. So you see certain people like Fauci saying that us denying things and asking questions about these things that we're being told is going against science. I say science goes against nature. I think science goes against God. I think science is always using natural things as lab material or people as rats in order to alter what God has created. You understand what I'm saying? So science is just the new God. If science and the FDA, which approves many things that are harmful to nature and that which is natural, approves it, since the FDA says it's okay, it's a-okay. What nature says, and natural healers and natural seers and people that have things naturally, qualities, these natural qualities are then turned and deemed to be, and vilified and termed to be the devil. Science is what is known. So what if what I know and what's natural to me, and what I would say God or Elohim, and science comes and tells me to take this here that has all this stuff in here that's going to maybe do this to your body and cause more harm. Somebody wants to make it so that you don't have a choice to go to what is naturally produced on this plane. That you must believe in and go for what man says it is. Man's law is different than natural law. Man thinks that he's going to use his documents and his law to overrule what source says. And at the end of the day, we will see. I feel as though we may see. Because God said he's going to bring what man told you to dust. And they are so upset because it makes them look silly. But they have the platforms. They have the podiums. They have the positions. And they think they have the power to harm what Elohim deem to be supreme. So they want to use justice when it comes to that, but not when it comes to other things that are very obvious. someone wants to make a comment about maybe what was said here on this channel, on this platform, that is being oppressed and suppressed by these so-called powers that shouldn't be. Not all of them, but some. The ones that are using their power incorrectly are the ones that I'm talking about. Knowledge of something acquired by study. Is that not what we do? Is that not what I've dedicated my time to for at least for the past 10 years? To serve the people? Information. Assurance of knowledge. So this is basically them going around and they want to kill the Gnostics for knowing. You see what I'm saying? When Gnosticism must be the real science, the real natural science, something that is triggered and inspired by a creator or the Elohim. So they're creating a witch hunt. When I said they should not be bringing, when I said, why are we bringing 10,000s and thousands upon thousands? Now, these very people, I thought were saying the same thing. Some of these people were saying the same thing just not too long ago. I said, if it is a so-called pandemic, why are we bringing hundreds of thousands of people from anywhere into this land and dispersing them? And I did say, yes, just like someone said on the media today, they welcome these people because, first of all, they water down the bloodlines of the original Americans, are the ones that have the supreme blood DNA and connections to this land and into God, right? It's a flood. This is a flood. When our God promised not to do another flood, but this is a flood. Get what I'm saying? I have nothing personal against anybody. What I'm saying is, if it is a deadly virus that is killing people on top of people, which is they are calling a pandemic, why in the world are we bringing anybody? I don't care if they came from outer space. Why are we bringing any floods of people into this land? Or do you see what I'm saying? They should set something up where they can be in their land and separate them from the people over there and give them a safe haven there. It makes no sense is what I'm saying. So we're questioning things that man deemed fit. Now, Elohim or God in the Bible, I don't know which one, right, has said to bring people from here and there and there. But what I'm saying is, during a so-called pandemic, does that make any sense? And yes, I know why they're bringing them in, because they work for less. They have all these jobs and opportunities out here. Meanwhile, those who are getting in tune with self are probably moving towards entrepreneurship, right? But they need new slaves because nobody else wants to work for $7 an hour. So they don't bring up minimum wage. What they do is bring new people in, new slaves in to be. And again, listen. They're okay with it because these are the people that are going to come in and, yes, work for $7 an hour. They are not the ones that make America. The ones that make America are the original American people that have been here and have had to go through these floods and these motions and these things and these currents of people coming in and utilizing and using the resources, the land, and the people for hundreds and thousands of years. The foundation has been built on the backs of those individuals, and that is who America is, including the offspring. But you cannot go and bite the very back that feeds you. You're not going to be able to dismiss the fact that his story lied. And we use our science that is within us and our knowledge to bring something to light. On this platform, there has been no attempts at any kind of terrorism. I listen to what God says to me. I don't always agree with everything that man says. I don't disagree with everything that they say either. I have a sense of knowing that I am. And before me, there was no other. And when I say that, I mean these people, again, that this nation has been built on top of. Which means that the foundation or the establishment has been built on something, and it is rocky right now. Because they want to go against what God is planning to do. Now this is why you see it crumbling. This is why you see earthquakes, which also spiritually represent the bothersome energy that is around people in general. It's off balance. This energy here is here to bring balance. Order in the court. People have been abusing power and acting in a terroristic way, and then turning it on to other people and saying that they are the terrorists because they speak up or they ask questions or they have a different opinion. So I feel, is this something that somebody is devising a plan to alter the minds of individuals and turn them into weapons of mass destruction, spiritually and physically? Assurance of knowledge, certitude, certainly, knowledge, learning, application, corpus of human knowledge. Knowledge, a knowing, expertise or expertness. Apologies. Intelligent, skilled. To know. To cut. To divide. To distinguish. Also cut, split, to cleave. Skillful, cleverness, craftiness. Experimental knowledge. This is why we cross-reference things. I don't have to do that for me necessarily. I've done the work inside and then brought it out. So we use all of the things. We use that which we know. We use that what we have been told, and we cross-reference and we sift through the information, and we use our common sense and discernment to see what we may be really talking about. Nobody has to believe anything that I say. I say what I want on this platform, just like everybody else says wherever they want to say it. I'm sharing findings. We're seeking, searching, and sharing. That's it. If it wasn't something that was real and true, it wouldn't hold weight. And then, therefore, again, I'm not going to shove anything down anybody's throat. You either see it or you don't. You can agree or you don't. I know what I know. And I know that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. And I know that this is a time. It may be stressful. It may be a lot going on, but this is a time. We may not know all of it. But again, together, right? Putting minds together, not even physically, right? Putting minds together is opening up doors that somebody wants to shut. They don't want you to recognize who is really supposed to be the true power on this plane. They want you to think that man has authority over what God says. Isn't that funny? Same thing when it comes to women, isn't it? Oh, don't let a woman with too much knowledge that can't be detained and can't be controlled or subdued or replenished or altered or changed. No. So the threat is we gave you plenty of time to do what we want you to do, and we've been okay. We've been listening, but now since you act like you don't want to do what we say, you don't want to alter that which God has already made perfect, then we have something for you, and we're going to turn the hammer around and we're going to slam it down. But see, Source didn't make me that way. I don't know about you. I don't buckle and fold. I know that the day that something happens when it comes to me, it's going to be a problem. I don't know about you guys and what you feel, but I feel totally protected. Nobody's going to make me feel any kind of way on this plane when it comes to fear or worry. I can be concerned about something because it has something to do with more. It's bigger than me. It has something to do with people, with mass manipulation, or a lot of people. That's what I fight for. To give the fair, balanced, and true definition of what we're talking about. Because I know that my God is not an author, that my Father is not an author of confusion. It's very clear, the information that he is giving to me, that the Elohim together is giving to me. That's why I don't talk in code. That's why I don't talk about it gets too confusing. So that's why I'm not going to respond to that anymore. Somebody wants something, they got something to say to me, they can say it to me directly, and we can talk about it for what it really is. Or I'm not going to talk to anyone at all. So they can continue to do what they're doing, and I'll continue to do what I'm doing. Peacefully, sane, and standing my ground. I don't talk in code here. I don't study information and bring it to you, because I'm not saying that this is the end all, this is the actual truth. What we're doing on this channel is just sharing things, and we're weighing things. And I know when it comes to so-called white supremacy, it does not have to do with your skin tone. It has to do with a people thinking that they're more supreme, or they are the ones that make. Let's see how I can word this. It's about an abuse of power, not color, not race. Okay? Because I can consider some people that may look like you or look like me, whatever color you are, can be those that abuse authority and their power in order to push a certain narrative or a certain way. And most of the time it's not equal. It doesn't bring forth freedom, and so-called rights. So I see what's being done here. And it's unnatural. What does this say here down here? Science, you must not talk before you know. In the art, you must not talk before you do. In literal, you must not talk before you think. Well, yeah, someone says that. This is somebody's theoretic, right, approach. Some of us are talking because we're talking through the Ruach, or wisdom, or the Spirit of God. But since people don't know what God is, they hate God. They hate the Elohim. They hate what's natural. They hate nature. Yeah. A lot of these people probably don't spend that much time in it, I bet. They try to find ways to keep, it feels like it's healing, but most of these things are harming the womb, the soil, the air, the plants, even the plants, because they don't really care about us. So again, when I'm talking about that which is organically natural there, and then like I said, the plants, the offspring, which are pretty much all people that were birthed through the wombs of the original men and women. The original women of this planet or this plane. And people come over here to my world and because they're confused and because they see things happening but they don't know, and so again they deem it something to be afraid of instead of just listening. They talk too much. Shut up and listen, because that's basically what they're telling you by oppressing your platforms, but going out and spewing whatever they're saying across the world to vilify certain energies. Yet they get upset when you pull back your power. When you shut off the faucet. That doesn't mean my cup is not still overflowing. It just means if you don't appreciate it and if you don't want anything to do with it, then you don't need to be here. So I ask Source to remove anything that is against me or trying to suck any kind of succubus energies, any kind of energies that are throwing witchcraft or anything my way or sorcery, to be removed. So you have no right to come over here in a spiritual essence of what I am doing and try to tell me what it should be when you don't hold the same qualities. You cannot, or people would not do what they do. And the reason why you don't have it is because you didn't do the work and because you may not be able to obtain it. So what do? I can't have it, so then what? It's not natural. People should be able to choose. People should not be having targets and marks put on their bodies before they're even, when they're children. Why don't we just be honest about what so-called people are? If this is the case. What is the nature of a man or a human? See, they don't want you to know about the true powers and qualities and the things you hold. This is why the whole thing has been set up. This whole so-called infrastructure, certain parts of it have been set up to keep you away from you. To make you think that working hard and neglecting your family and doing all these other things, right? Being go-getters is the way. Most of the time it creates broken homes and broken dreams and spirits and imagination of children. It breaks you down, trains you to be a slave. And if you're not going to be that kind of slave that we need, where we can get something from you as if we don't already utilize and leech and cleave on to everything you do when it comes to your essence and your nature, then we'll get new slaves. We don't want people taking time to sit in nature and dig their feet in the soil and meditate and really get engaged with themselves and what's natural. We don't want you having too much time off work so that you can go and travel and go and see different things and find out, especially in America, and find out, and they wonder why they call us the dumbest nation, right? Even though we know it's not true. They just see the world from the eyes of men, and we see it here, or we're starting to go back into ourselves and see it when it comes to source, the universe. And some of these people are upset because they can't tap into that energy. But that doesn't mean anything. And if they shut you down from this platform, you just keep on going within. Bring that balance. Know who you are. Work on that. Even if you don't, work on that. And we'll see. I can't sit there and look at somebody in front of me talking about some ridiculousness and really just take that person serious in a position, and they're supposed to be in a position of power. And power can even just be where someone that has a lot of influence over individuals or places or positions in the world. It's only because that's the way they want it. So it's only what has been exalted and placed in front of you. It really doesn't mean that it holds anything that is fair, balanced, natural, of science, the real science. That's why they study and research you. And because that's not working anymore, they can't control you anymore like that, because we're going through this ascension or this awakening. Now they're going to bring in new slaves. That's fine with me. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just saying, make it make sense if you're saying that this deadly pandemic is going on, for us to be going across the world to go bring people into our land. That's all. It's nothing against those people or anything. It's just questioning, what do you mean that this is going on, but we're going and grabbing people? And I don't think those people had masks on, did they? I'm saying, if you're going to mask one student or teacher, how is it that you don't mask them all? If they're talking about the same thing. I don't consider myself to be linked to any group at all. Any nation, any tribe, when it comes to this new age movement. I am who I am, and I look to God. I observe what man is doing. I can see over what man is doing. They don't like that. So again, someone has devised a plan to throw, the earth off on its axis, right? To cause some kind of turbulence. And think it's something, it's because you're doing this and God is punishing you. No, I know exactly you see what I'm saying? You can't get me with that. We're going to have to try something else. So the next thing I think someone or some energy or entity wants to do is to get their hands on certain individuals like this and try to place them in some kind of confinement. The one is not working when it comes to platforms and all these. So we're going to find something else to do. Again, we're just asking things. We're just questioning things. That's what people do. It's detective work. Because we just don't go like sheep and just listen to whatever anyone says, especially when it's pertaining to women, children, and anybody else in nature. For me, it has no color lines. I'm to a point where I don't even really see that anymore. I see people energy. Makes me not even want to deal with so-called people in that manner or in that way. There's always a greater light. See,